I am going to pass around January through February renewals. If you guys will check that out and just see if there's some people that you would like to contact on here, we'll pass that around the room and put your names on it. And I'll email it out, Austin, so you can get it later, okay? There you go. As we are diving in, and I know this is probably a little overwhelming. The agenda's pretty big today, but we're going to fly right through it, okay? So we're going to get started. Carmen and Andy are supposed to be on their way. Lowe's is actually using our facility to have an event, so we're hoping that that's going to lead to membership. And we are working on helping them and be relevant. So she'll be headed here as soon as we get them settled over there. Let me grab these doors back here. Okay, sorry, you're fun. If we can take a second, Austin, can you hear me? Austin?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Will you tell everyone who you are and where you work right quick, please, sir?
Yeah, I'm Austin Walter. I'm Group Sales Manager for SkyZone Memphis.
And Austin's on the phone with us today because after our last ambassador lunch, he was in a terrible car accident. He broke his pelvis in multiple places. He was at our luncheon because he's a trooper on Wednesday, but he's on a walker and he's just going to take some time for recuperation. So if you guys will pray for him, continue to pray for him. But we told him we didn't want to exclude him. He goes, "Can I just be conferenced in?" And I said, "Sure, we'll take care of that." So he's on the phone with us today. Thanks for being here, Austin.
Thank you for the accommodations.
You're welcome. Ron, can we start with you and let's just go around the room. We'll do this half and then we'll start and do this half. If you'll just say your name and who you're with, please. That way we can kind of get to know each other a little better.
Okay, I'm Ron Wardlaw and I am with AT&T.
April?
I'm April Armstrong, I'm with Chick-fil-A.
Rose Marable, Stern Cardiovascular.
Hannah Gomez with First Tennessee. Kirsten Goulet with the Home 2 Suites. Haley Perkins with Entergy.
Casey Dixon, Ole Miss to Senate.
James McGee with Pickering Williams and McGee.
Shirley Dean with Allstate.
Andy Haynes with Now Media.
Phil Sullivan, Courtyard.
Tawanda Knight, Residence Inn, South Haven.
Trevor Sims, Crystal Clear Computer Solutions.
Nina?
Nina Irving, Company Train.
Chad?
Chad Greenlee, Regions Bank.
Nathan Hayes, Muddy Waters Realty.
James Maxey, Bancorp South.
Alicia Lindsley, Bancorp South.
Chris Bergio, Concord Career College.
Sanandra Guy, Concord College.
Sarah Bullard with 2 Men and a Truck.
Chris Jones with 2 Men and a Truck.
Brooke Gray with Comcast Business.
Andy Young, and I'm late.
He's with Community Bank, y'all.
And that too.
Kevin Brown with Community.
Awesome. We are just getting started. Everyone was getting their plate. Go ahead and grab you something to eat. It's in the kitchen right in the next room. And I wanted us to try our best to fly through this as we could. Anna Dickerson is going to be with us at 12:30. For those of you that can stay, she's going to explain a little bit to us about Volunteer Northwest Mississippi. They have a lot of volunteer opportunities for us to be able to get connected, and she's just going to kind of explain that and let people know what they do. They're an umbrella or an arm of Community Foundation. Community Foundation services our entire county. So that's just a little brief snippet, and she's going to talk for 5 or 10 minutes just to let us know how we can get plugged in and involved with our businesses if you guys are looking for areas to serve and to volunteer. Okay? I put upcoming events on here. This is our agenda. It will be formatted this way every month because we have quite a few that are new. Welcome to you guys. And we have some that are leaving us, that makes me very sad. And we have a couple that have swapped around and moved, and that's okay. We're excited to keep them on board. So I'll go over that in just a second, but first I wanted you guys just to see the format that we kind of use. It's just an outline. It will not be this in-depth every time. This meeting was mandatory, and I thank you for being here, and that's because we want to see the commitment from you guys. Our ambassador program is very strong, and that's not without work. And it's worked for me, and it's worked from you guys. So I appreciate you so much for being involved. We don't have a limited number of ambassadors that we do, but we do ask that those ambassadors be committed, that you guys show for things, that you're engaged, that you're involved, and so we appreciate you being here. So this is going to be the format, but most months it will never be 2 pages. It is this month just because we have quite a few things to go over, but it will be this format, and typically Andy runs our meetings for us. He is our ambassador chair. Will you come join me, sir?
Man, that's what I've been stand up and steal your thunder, so.
No.
Being that I'm already 20 minutes late.
You're good. You're good. And so upcoming events, we have some exciting things going on. Surf Pro is doing their ribbon cutting here on the 28th with a grand opening, and they'll have some lunch here. So I encourage you guys, if we can, give them a large showing so that we can just support them. Y'all, they let companies use this room for free. And so we are really, really appreciative of their resource. At the same time, they want people to be able to come through the doors to find out what Surf Pro does and how long they've been doing it. If you look around the room, you'll see some of their older pictures. They've been in business for a very long time. I had asked they pop their head in and just say hello, so I hope that they do that so we can thank them for use of this room. Mr. Andy?
All right, and then moving right along on November the 1st, Chamber 101. What day is that on?
Tuesday.
Okay. Right, let's go this one. November the 2nd, Coffee with a Member, hosted by Mailbox and Ship in the Kroger Shipping Center across from the Chamber office.
This is a little different. All
yeah,
it is just come by, have a cup of coffee, tell her hello, find out what she does, and then go on about your day. And the reason that we're doing this is because we have several members that are busy and can't do a lunch or can't do a networking event or after hours. So we're going to afford them the opportunity to start their day off with you. Not sure how often we'll do this. It might be a every other month kind of thing. Because we don't want to compete with other chambers and what they have going on in the mornings, but at the same time, we don't want to take up too much of y'all's time as well. So we just want to support members and businesses that have a desire to do this.
And then on November the 3rd, 2 o'clock, Liberations Escape Rooms ribbon cutting. We'll be given the option to
Test. We're going to test the
Oh,
rooms.
that should be
Yep.
fun. Is Carmen coming to that?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, and then Cocktails and Conversation at Accurate Communications in Memphis, right off of I-240 on November the 5th.
We've done this at his place for the past couple of years. We have about 10% of our member base that's Memphis. And so it's a great opportunity for you guys at the end of the day to be able to come up and meet some new companies and see a different element from South Haven and be able to service as an ambassador some of those members that don't get to come to a lot of our functions because of the proximity. But John's place is probably 20 minutes from us. It's not very far, and it's directly where Bud Davis Cadillac is. It's down the street right next to that, so it's right off the interstate.
Right, and again, rounding it out for November, or at least up until the 18th, the ambassador lunch will be at the chamber office on the 18th at 11:30. However, if we have a group like this, we won't be able to fit in there. So.
Actually, we just changed that this morning. I'm thankful to Chris Bergio and Znethra. They have offered Concord to be our ambassador lunch
Excellent.
place next month.
Does everybody know where
So if you
Concord
guys
is
will change that.
by the hospital? Does everybody know where that is? Yes. No.
On the corner of Rasco
It's
and
Rasco and Airways, right in that building,
Okay.
in that medical building right there.
So that'll be a good thing as well. Chamber mission statement. This is kind of integrating what Debbie was talking about a while ago. The Chamber's goal is to integrate into the community and assist local businesses with their financial, professional, and development growth, as well as to encourage economic advancement with the city by providing otherwise unavailable opportunities and resources to the local business sector. You have seen this, and I know everybody has seen this, with the Chamber office as it stands right now, with the rooms and with the sponsorships for the rooms that we have available, being able to come into a meeting place like this, but at the Chamber office, that's something that was never there before. When they were in City Hall, it was just not an option.
We were cramped.
Yeah, I mean, and they barely had room to fit themselves, let alone having to be able to, it wasn't an ideal scenario to be able to be set up to have, say, hey, look, if you want to meet a client, if you want to come in, you want to do something, we have the offices available to do that. This mission statement now, I think, has taken a whole new meaning, especially with what Carmen's vision has been. And if you haven't heard it now, you haven't been here long enough, of her wanting to stay relevant for the community. I think that the office as it stands now really demonstrates that. The program that we have talked about before on the tally for the points,
It's in your packet.
you've got it in your packet. We've talked about this before in terms of what's the best way to facilitate this. And everybody, who hasn't been here before? Who hasn't been here at all? Okay. When we say talking about points and accumulate points, do you understand what we mean by that?
Not really.
In a nutshell, go ahead.
Shorter packet.
We'll give this one here.
I've got it.
Okay. In a nutshell, as an ambassador, you gain points from anything from sharing a public event that we are sponsoring on Facebook, signing up new members, attending ribbon. The most common thing is ribbon cuttings. In other words, like when we just mentioned all these events that are coming up in November, attending those ribbon cuttings, you get points for that. Working the quarterly luncheon like what happened 2 days ago, or yesterday, whatever, I'm off a day or so. Attending events like that, coffee and conversations, business after hours. I mean, you can get points for pretty much anything.
Facebook likes and shares.
Yeah, Facebook likes and shares.
Wyatt Austin,
He's on mute.
is he on mute?
He has to be on mute so he can do his thing.
I got you. So it's not hard to accumulate points. As a new ambassador, I think the point baseline has been set at 300 for the name tags. I don't see anybody with, oh, no, never mind. I don't see anybody with one on. Well, it's not an ambassador one though. Close enough.
Nina has hers on.
Okay, it will look just like that, and basically, if you accumulate 30 points or 300 points, we will get you one of those. The reason we hold off on that is because we want to make sure you're serious about the program, and those things aren't cheap, so.
Until then, we have ordered, they're not
The
in
temporary
yet, a generic one that just says ambassador on it. So for you to get personalized one. And several of you, I had a handful turn their points in, and a couple of them achieved that this month. So
Right. So being involved, you're only going to get as much out of this program as you put into it. Everybody knows that. Being here for the events, being here for the quarterly luncheon, being here for after hours, it creates a lot of opportunity for your businesses. I know Brooke, for example, I want to call you out on this. How much have you gotten from being able to go see businesses for ribbon cuttings from things like this?
There's actually not a way for me to put a financial number on it, but I'd say it was probably priceless to me.
Exactly. Point being, it's worth your time. So I think everybody stands, no matter what you're selling. If you're selling money, if you're selling Comcast, if you're selling, moving services, there's no way you can't benefit if you stay in this program. We have talked about the point system and the app. Do we have any new developments on it?
we do, and we'll go ahead and do that. It's at the very end, but the app is coming. No, that's fine. The app is coming, and what we're doing with that is you guys will be able to check in at an event. That check-in is going to be converted into a spreadsheet. I'll be able to export that to a spreadsheet. So I can copy and paste everything that takes me a long time to type out and to enter. So that will work in conjunction with my spreadsheet that I do point tallies from, and it will also work in conjunction with the email summary that you guys get showing who's attended what event. So it'll be a little more accurate, and it will be able, the reason I send y'all that now is for accountability purposes and to make sure that you know this is what we've seen and how we've seen you be engaged. I have a lot of them that, a lot of y'all will email me back and go, I wasn't at that, or I was at this one and this one, or, and that's great, and I appreciate y'all doing that. But hopefully that'll be eliminated when the app rolls around because it'll be a lot more accurate.
The time frame for the points on a monthly schedule, is that just the first through the end of the month?
Yes.
Yes.
And I typically try to get it out to you the week of, I want to work toward trying to get it earlier than that, but the week of our luncheon is when we do it for the previous month. So I'll send out the email that I do that just shows what your summation is of involvement, and you in turn send back your point tally sheet with the totals, or shoot me an email and say, I have 500 points. You know what I mean?
There's a survey in the packet that you have. While we're talking about that, if you will, make sure you fill that out while you're here and leave that with Debbie before you vacate the premises, please.
I need that today, please. And the reason for that is, I'll skip around a little bit. On the agenda, under programs, you'll see that we're talking about teams. There's going to be teams, red, blue, green, and yellow. You will be assigned to those teams according to what the information has on your survey. This is going to be professional development for you guys. We want to do this so that you have measurable goals of what you would like to achieve, and it helps us know you better. It helps us actually be able to plug you into different areas better in the ambassador program, and it helps you grow. So you will be able to actually kind of see someone else in this room has a strength that is your weakness. And so pairing you together, you will be able to grow your weakness, and at the same time, you will be able to share your strength so that all of us are more professionally developed. And by the end of the year, you get so much more out of it because now you have valuable information and experience that you have learned that you can take with you throughout your career.
And on the same note, we talked about this a little bit ago, or at least hit on it. I was told you will be at the ribbon cutting that we're going to have on the November the 3rd for the escape room, Carmen. Is that right? Yes?
Sure.
Okay.
Depends on who told you that.
Yeah.
If Debbie told you
I just want to see
that,
your face, that's all. That's all. I just want to see
I'm
your face.
assuming she's going to take me kicking and screaming.
Okay. I think you're going to be there. Those types of events, I think we have a lot of fun with. Down here on the very bottom of this, you'll see that we're trying to schedule some events that kind of bring some team buildings involved. How long ago was it that we did the trampoline park? Was that a couple months ago?
3
months ago?
months ago.
Who went to that? I know
Chad Greenlee.
Chad Greenlee definitely was there.
Chad was there.
Talk about it.
Debbie knows Chad was there. If you weren't at that event, it was a lot of fun. We had a dodgeball game. It got somewhat ugly between Chad and Debbie, but we won't call out too many people on that. But
You were the king.
I was that guy, but I'm
Nobody went to the hospital.
there was
We're
a
good.
duck and a dive and problems happened.
broken glasses, bruised face. It was a lot of fun. So it was it was a great event, and I don't think anybody in here would say that those events don't help everybody kind of mesh together when we're trying to do these things. So when you're going to events like that, when you're going to escape rooms, everybody has fun with that. So look for more of that kind of stuff in the future.
Yes, I've got to get hockey date together. We
Yeah.
have the suite for River Kings hockey that we're going to do as a group, as ambassadors. And we are going to do another trampoline excursion, so we'll go back to Sky Zone at some point this year. And,
Start working out now, guys. I'm serious. You can't last 6 minutes if you have not worked. I'm just telling you. It's a workout.
It is.
It is a workout.
It is.
Carmen showed us all up. She did pretty good in that pit, the foam pit.
She's been doing it. She probably goes every weekend. We don't even know about it.
I have pictures of it too, by the way, so in case anybody's wondering. So, yesterday, or I'm sorry, when at the, who was at the South Haven quarterly luncheon? Everybody, who went to that? Who has opted in for the 70,000 text feature yet?
Get out your phones.
Get out your phones. If you haven't done it, go ahead and do it now.
Capital SCA Ambassadors.
If you have not done it yet,
SC Ambassadors.
there is a new function that we have for text alerts for events that are going on in South Haven.
Wait, there's, yeah, something, you all are ambassadors, everybody won't get that, so it's SCA, I mean, it's SC Ambassador capital A, but.
Oh,
there
I'm
will-
sorry.
Yeah, there will be others that, like, just in general, concerts and those kinds of things, that is 70,000
That
for
was
South
South
Haven.
Haven or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, South
Okay, I'm
Haven.
sorry. Two different ones. The same number threw me off there for a second.
Same number, two different ones. So
SC Ambassadors.
SC Ambassadors.
SC Ambassadors, okay.
to 70,000, 7 with 4 zeros.
Right.
And then the regular member to opt in and have all of your coworkers and your boss and everybody else opt in is South Haven. You'll text 7 4 zeros to South Haven for that.
Okay. So try to do that before you leave so we make sure we get everybody on the same page. Moving along, the South Haven Christmas Parade is going to be December the 1st at 6:30. We need a committee to assist with this parade. If you look on your packet, it's the first part of the second page. We need a chairperson for the committee. We need a staging coordinator, school coordinator, judging coordinator, VIP coordinator, and media coordinator. So, do we have any volunteers for this yet? Anybody reached out on this?
No,
Okay.
no, this is first everybody's hearing of it. So
Okay. We don't have to raise our hands just yet, but obviously, the more people we have, for the most part, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that for the previous years that this has been done, this has been basically you and maybe one or two people running all this thing.
Here's the deal with the Christmas parade. Parks and Rec used to do that for the city, and then we partnered with them one year, which meant they wanted us to take it over, and they helped a little bit, and we did most of it. Last year, we had some volunteers and some ambassadors that were actually part of the judging team. El Solomon was awesome because he almost got ran over. He helped us try to get floats parked and things done. So we have had we've had some people that have helped, but we need a lot of people this year to help. The more we have, the smoother it's going to go. Last year, we had a blackout. So this year, we're going to have Parade of Lights. So if there's a blackout again, we can all see.
Deb, this says SCA, the ambassador says it is not a valid keyword.
You have to do an S at the end.
Yeah, it has to be ambassadors. Did I leave the S off at the end on the agenda?
It's on the paper.
No, it's on there.
Darnell did point out that I boo-booed because 11/5 is on a Saturday. We're not going to do cocktails and conversation on the 5th. It's the first Thursday of every month, so if you'll change that, please, on your, it'll be the same day as the escape room ribbon cutting. We probably will not, he wants us to test and do a different date besides the ribbon cutting date for testing, so that'll probably come earlier, so just look for updates for that. What we'll do that day is just the actual ribbon cutting itself for Liberation. So the date for testing for that, it's going to be that week, but it'll probably be earlier in the week.
You get that, Carmen, earlier in the week, testing?
I got it.
Gotcha. I just want to
I
make
am
sure.
so there.
I'm coming with a video camera on this. All right, we can talk more about the coordinators here in a little bit, and hopefully if you're interested in doing this and are willing to help, see me, see Debbie, see one of us, we will get you marked down and we will go ahead and start doing this because December the 1st is not far away. We're at October the 20th, so Christmas season is already upon us, whether you like it or not.
And we're going to schedule a meeting with those committee members next week.
9:30, chamber
yes.
office, next Thursday.
So anyone that can help in some of those areas, we would love to have you. If you can reach out to us so that we know to accept you for that day for the meeting, that would be fabulous.
So,
Can I say something about that?
yes.
The Christmas parade is somewhat of a nightmare for us. And let me get up here. I want to just take you just a snippet of where we've been and where we hope we're going is we inherited, that's a kind word, we inherited the South Haven Christmas parade, okay? We were the only chamber that did not do their Christmas parades in the towns. We were fine with that. But, so again, we inherited the South Haven Christmas Parade. Normally, where the city has conducted all of it, they've had Parks Department, they've had the Water Department, the Building Department, all of their code enforcement, South Haven PD, the VIPs. You've had all of these people helping put on a Christmas parade. Now you have 3. So the last couple years have been very scary. They have not been safe, as in for staff. We have been, Elle Solomon will tell you, and I'm sure some of the others that volunteered, but Elle and I were cursed at. Debbie was just, all of us. I just know Elle as an ambassador. I'm not talking about staff, but as an ambassador, we were cursed at, we were almost run over. It was unbelievable. And the problem with that is because we don't have that big staff that has typically been put on an entire parade. So we've got to have some strong committee support and be able to have very strict guidelines in place. Everybody knows where they're going. I just had a conversation. We had a really big problem with band parents. And so I've already talked to one of the band directors, and they are, hopefully it will be better this year. But I assure you, it is more anxiety. We dread it. Our families dread it. I mean, it's terrible because, again, we inherited it and just kind of, here you go with very ancillary support. So that's what we've got to change.
Do we have a list of participants?
We will. Yes.
How come we don't reach out to the student governments in each of the high schools? You got some of the brightest and the best in high schools. Why not contact the student governments in each of the high schools, get them involved? Because the Christmas parade should be something that's awesome. It should be something that we're proud of. It should be actually our chance to shine, is what I believe.
That'll
It
also
should.
give them exposure to some of the local business community.
I mean, they're all about social media. They're bright, they're young, a lot of them are ambitious. They're in student government because they're engaged. So why not reach out to them and create a committee of the high schools and let them help the chamber put the parade?
I think that having them involved and having them do that is great. I can tell you as a mom, I was anxious that my kid was out there helping direct floats because I almost got ran over. So I would much rather use some of them for social media, legwork, that kind of thing. But to be committee chair or to be committee members, I would really like that to be a lot of the business leaders and some of our ambassadors that are a little more seasoned and can troubleshoot a little more. I have no doubt they're some of the best and the brightest. But I think at this point, they would probably need a little more exposure and experience. So if we can partner with them to do that and bring them on board, that would be great.
I mean, you can contact Ernie, you could even come up with a cup every year that's awarded to the high school that, either the most involved, or that way, it comes then.
Sounds like you need
competition between schools.
We
have our first committee chair, right? Da-da-da. And that's the thing, y'all. There are, when I came on board January 6, 2014, there were 5 full-time staff members of the South Haven Chamber of Commerce. Now we have 2. We have 2. And 2 part-time. So that's the thing, is we're the largest business organization in DeSoto County, but we're the leanest. So that's the part where it's, we just have to have some help. And it's just, again, it's for us, it's the last 2 years specifically have really been a safety issue. And
Why is the South Haven Police Department not involved?
They are, but not to the level when the mayor says this is our, it's different than when Carmen Kyle or Debbie King say, we need you. It's just different. So, because it's no longer a city event. They are, and they're going to be more involved this year, or we're gonna take them kicking and screaming.
But in their defense, they were involved last year until the blackout started happening, and then they all had to disperse, and we had no volunteers.
El Solomon, we were up there and everybody's going, oh my gosh. Then we realized they pulled all the police officers to the intersections that were down. So then we had nobody on Highway 51, nobody over on, and then Debbie's going back and forth getting cussed out. Me and Elle are going back and forth just hoping to stay alive. I mean, everybody is. Everybody is just, and I have never in my life, you see different parents at the Christmas parade than you do anywhere else. I'm just letting you know. Unbelievable.
I do want to go ahead and address, if we can, I do want to go ahead and address, because it's been brought to my attention, our Christmas parade is the same night as Horn Lake's Christmas parade. That was not intentional, but the reason that had to be done was a couple of things. Primarily because we had businesses in and around the parade route that were losing money on Saturday afternoon. And so because we wanted to listen to them and it not be a burden to them and them not lose revenue, we had to do something different. And so being able to try to meet with city and meet with other people and make sure band directors had a night that they could do that was very challenging for us. And we tried every way in the world for it not to be on the same night, because we do realize that a lot of people share members and share ambassadors, and we get that. However, it was unavoidable.
There wasn't anything anybody could do. And the band they're going in competition. They couldn't be there on a Saturday, and they couldn't be there the whole next week of the first week. So we wouldn't even have had, us or Horn Lake, none of us would have had a band. A high school band playing, because they were all in competition that next week, which was kind of strange, but that it would be that first week, but that's the way it felt. So it just wasn't real pleasant. But what do you do? Can't really have a Christmas parade in November. You can't have a Christmas parade the weekend of Thanksgiving. So that's what it came down to.
It's still listed on SoDeSoto as the 3rd.
Really?
Yeah, that's where I say I made my calendar already a couple months ago, and that's where, yeah, we're in both of them.
Yeah. We'll make sure that everybody
I'll call
knows.
tourism to let them know that,
But no, it's listed as the 3rd.
yeah, because we changed that as soon as we possibly could, knowing
The
that it
3rd
had to
wasn't
change.
even an option when we found out about the bands, and then we found out that those on Main Street were just panicked because we cut their income off on the first Saturday of December, and they had to close early. So there was a lot of people involved in that decision in the city and the parade route. So it was very difficult, and so it was, hopefully we can do a little bit better next year of navigating it with the bands, and but it is going to have to almost be a weeknight, because I don't know how else you do that with commerce. And if commerce is in our name and we are negatively affecting commerce, we got to do something. So we were negatively affecting commerce by having it at 5 or 6 p.m. on a Saturday when these people are open for business. So just so everybody's on the same page, that's why.
In your packet, there's an application. The reason you have an application is, actually, there's 2 reasons. The first one is for you to make copies to give people if they ask you about the South Haven Christmas parade. So you have that information in your hand. Okay. The second reason is because this is the cheapest form of advertising you can do. You have a captive audience on both sides of the road, so it's awesome to have truck, float, whatever in there. We had talked about having an ambassador, like a hayride or a trailer or something like that. if any of you guys are interested in us doing that, we'll try to commandeer a trailer and a truck and see if we can make that happen, but we'll need more than 2 or 3 people interested. We want to make sure that we have a good showing, 8 or 10 people on there at least. Cool. We were actually thinking about trying to build a big, huge cell phone and let everybody know that they can download the app, because the app will be done by then. So we thought about
Comcast has
doing
got
that.
some kind of big giant phone or something. So, okay, so next Thursday, 9:30, if you are interested in this, please sign up now, let us know, so that we can kind of plan for how many we plan on having. And then, you should have who's going to be here now?
Yep,
Okay.
she should be walking.
I guess in summary, we've talked about a lot of things. The fiscal year for the chamber started this month, October the 1st. So we're going to have, we've kind of already turned over the page financially, so to speak. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming down the pike. We've already talked about the app that's coming. The new text app that most people just did, or the text alerts. Everything from the new building and all the new ideas and the events that we're going to have planned throughout the next year that we haven't been doing in the past. So there's a lot of exciting things coming. So just keep that in mind. The more you can be involved, the better it will be, and the stronger we will be. So just keep that top of mind for the next year. And
I did want to add one more thing, a couple more things about the app, actually. That app is not just a chamber app. It's going to be a South Haven app. So it's going to be where to play, where to stay, where to dine. It'll have all of the businesses in there. But what we're doing for chamber members, and we're going to give options for you to have an enhanced listing. It's going to look different and better for a member than it would for a non-member to be in that app for people to know. We have also met with Parks and Rec Department. They want to use our app to be able to have a group for baseball teams. So when teams come in, they're going to download our app. And in doing that, they're going to be able to find out if games are canceled, if there's some weather-related issues, if things are going on. They want to know, they will be able to know where to eat, hotels that they have. So this is going to be huge for us, y'all. And I can say this, I guess, because we have actually received an email with the information, but AT&T is sponsoring our app. So we are super excited about that, to get the ball rolling with them. It's a 12-month commitment, and then they'll have the first right of refusal, and that'll be like our rooms in our building. We will have sponsorship opportunities for other businesses to do that as well. So we are definitely going to need your help to educate everyone, especially our business community, to get involved to make this app work. Not just for chamber, not just for one area, but for our entire city. We want it to be the go-to. When people visit here, even people that live here, we want them to be able to opt in and receive some notifications of what's going on in and around our city.
okay. Do we know if she?
I have not heard from her. Let me go see if I can
There's she.
check in.
Waiting on us, maybe.
I'll check in and see if she is here. In the meantime, if you guys can fill out your survey, there's also guidelines, ambassador guidelines in there. Smack in the middle of that, it says ambassador job description. I want you to kind of mark through that, and I want you to put expectations, because even though some people can view an ambassador role as a job, we don't want you to ever feel like it's a job. We want you guys to be committed, we want you to be involved, but we want you to be excited about it, and we definitely want you to know how much we appreciate all that you do for us in there. The very back sheet of those guidelines, there's a space at the bottom for you to sign and date. If you will sign and date that and just tear that off, I want you to keep the guidelines and just give me that bottom part back. It's going to go in a file that I'll have for each of you guys, and that's going to be available to you at the end of the year, that will say, this is my measurable goals, this was my survey, this is what's going on with me, and all that does for us is help us to know which of our ambassadors are shining and growing, and which of our ambassadors have fallen away, or which of our ambassadors might need special attention from some of the other ambassadors or from chamber staff. So if I could have that back in your surveys, that would be great.
Do you have additional surveys?
Sir?
Do you have additional surveys anywhere else?
Yes, I do.
I know from the chamber.
Last thing right quick. Last thing right quick that I wanted us to go over. That I wanted us to go over before I introduce Anna. The very back sheet on the left side of your packet talks about the magazine. We are deep in the middle of magazine sales, and Bob probably could address this better than I could, to tell you the truth. But the other side of that rate sheet actually shows that we are trying to get businesses to be involved and to help sponsor advertising for some nonprofits. So there's a special deal for that. When they do that, they're able to purchase advertising for that nonprofit. Bob has generously been able to offer services to help create those ads if those need to be done. Bob, do you want to just talk about that for a second?
We have 27 nonprofit organizations or so that are members of the chamber. And each and every one of them is looking for some way to raise funds. And they do everything from bake sales to car washes to anything they can do. And they're desperate for income, and it's hard to be a volunteer in a nonprofit organization and do what you do for that nonprofit and then also go out and raise funds. So what this offers is an opportunity, and Anthony Bradley is one of my business associates, and he's a South Haven Chamber member. He is sponsoring this ad, so he's paying $1,750 for this ad and then providing this space for the nonprofit, which is Heartland Hands, which if anybody hadn't been to Heartland Hands, you need to go because it's a miracle over there, feeding, as it will show you on here, 2,000 people a month who would otherwise go hungry. And every other chamber, whether it's Healing Hearts, whether it's Girls of Grit, all of these chamber members, the nonprofit organizations, all of them need our help. They need our support from being volunteers. They need our help to go out and tell other people about it and what they do. So go to your website, please, and look at all of the nonprofit organizations and see if there's someone there that you need to go by and look and see what's going on where they are, helping their volunteer work or help them raise money, whatever you need to do, because we're in a chamber of commerce, but we're also in a chamber of care. And that's what this is all about. It's called a member share program. So this offers an opportunity for people to share. And the rates on this are whatever the magazine offers, and there's a small setup fee for anybody who has needs for an ad. But any nonprofit organization ads, I create that at no charge.
Awesome. Thanks, sir. And that's a great segue for me to go ahead and introduce Miss Anna Dickerson. She is with Volunteer North Mississippi, and she's going to come up and talk to you guys a little bit about opportunities and how you can get involved.
Yes. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Bob. I love that idea. I saw it at the luncheon the other day. I think I know a lot of you guys, which is fantastic. I think that shows that I'm doing my job well. For those of you who don't know me, by the end of the day, I will consider you my best friend, and I will email you and do all kinds of things. Right, Casey? Right, Haley? Kevin knows too.
I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you.
He's mad at me because he came to a meeting the other day, but he left early, so he didn't get to win the gift card that I drew his name for because he left early. He had to leave for valid reasons, but you know, must be present to win. So, long story short, Debbie and Carmen asked me to come and speak to you guys today to tell you about what Volunteer Northwest Mississippi is. We are a program under the Community Foundation in Hernando. My territory is Tom's territory. 11 counties in Northwest Mississippi. What matters mostly here today, is DeSoto County, but for those of you who represent businesses who are in other counties, please know that basically from Highway 82 up and Highway 55 over to the river, we cover. It's 11 counties, the territory is big. Chances are he's probably gonna add another one to me next year. But my purpose is to support the nonprofits in the community, so I really love what you guys are doing. I support them by providing them an online platform, which, as you guys know, is important. Online presence is the key to existing these days. So we have a relationship with an online platform called GiveGab, which allows nonprofits to go online, post their volunteer opportunities, connect their volunteers directly, log hours, print off fantastic reports for their board members so they can see what's going on, engage socially. Social media is very important. Engage socially if their volunteers choose to, post photos, spread their mission. It gives them a web presence. A lot of the nonprofits, if they don't have a marketing budget, then they certainly probably don't have a website presence. So if they aren't online, then we give them that online show up. And then even if they're online, they're also going to show up through us. So if you Google volunteering in Tunica or South Haven or Marks, Mississippi, then you will be directed to Volunteer Northwest Mississippi, which I know sounds like it's all good for me, but all I spend my time doing is making sure that everybody else is on there. So it gets to me, and then I send you directly to the organizations. So they post their opportunities, they post their needs, wishes, they post their events and things like that on our platform. These things can be very expensive. I don't know if you guys know that. There are some out there that charge nonprofits a great deal of money. We worked out an in-kind sponsorship agreement with GiveGab, which is actually a company out of New York. So it's $5,000 annually that they give to us for in-kind, and then we get to pass those lovely savings on to our nonprofit partners. So if I can teach them to use it and use it well, then it's of absolute benefit to them. So it's constantly evolving. They've really paid attention to the state of Mississippi. They worked out the deal with all of us in Mississippi. There are 8 centers just like me across the state, and we're trying to get more of them because we are a state-funded organization. But they worked out the deal with all of us so we can support each other as a network and promote each other and get all of the nonprofits involved. So even if somebody in, I think Natchez currently isn't covered by a volunteer center, for example, but they can use our platform because it's a statewide system. So we offer that. We offer workshops, had a webinar yesterday, have a grant writing workshop coming up on November 1st, which a lot of people are interested in. You guys are sitting in this room because you care about your community, so chances are you sit on a board, you're part of a nonprofit in some capacity or another. So you may be interested to know, grant writing workshop, November 1st. A wonderful consultant out of Memphis is coming down. I will also have some of the big grant givers in the state of Mississippi present in the room so that you can bend their ear for knowledge, ask them, hey, why'd you turn me down the last time I asked for a grant? Figure out how you can do it better. Having those conversations are important in the nonprofit world. So we do workshops, we do online postings. To the extent that I can, I have a lovely partner at Volunteer Northwest Mississippi, Brenda. She and I together aren't even paid what one full-time person is. She's 15 hours a week, I'm 20 hours a week combined. We're almost to a full-time person, but as much as we can, we help nonprofits coordinate events. We show up as much as we can to make sure things run smoothly. For people like you guys, if you want to put 20 of your employees to work on a Saturday, you have no money, but you have people, you tell me what you want to do, what you're interested in, or what you're not interested in, and then we find something that fits you and your employees. One of my favorite things to talk about is Walgreens. There's 12 of them literally in DeSoto County. It's remarkable. Walgreens became our friend 3 or 4 years ago. They came to us at a time when they had done an employee satisfaction survey and their employees were not satisfied. Why were they not satisfied? They didn't feel a sense of community. They weren't connected with their employees. They were losing people more quickly than they wanted to. So we started working with them. Not necessarily because of that, it just was a happy coincidence. I think I met them probably at a chamber or something. So we started working with them. Their employees began volunteering with us once a month. They began feeling connected to their community. They began seeing that Walgreens cared about DeSoto County. Their families started volunteering with us, all kinds of things. It just kind of snowballed into a very great partnership. A year later, they did the same employee satisfaction survey. Numbers were up exponentially. A lot of them credited our partnership in their notes. So I take that as a huge compliment to what we've tried to accomplish at Volunteer Northwest Mississippi, and say that to say that all of you guys know that training employees is very hard and costly, and retaining them is very important. So partnering with Volunteer Northwest Mississippi, or cutting me out directly and going straight to the middleman and finding a nonprofit that you love and support, I'm all for that too. I don't have to be a part of every partnership that exists. But if you're curious and looking for ways that your business can be engaged, did I say, hey Siri? If you're looking for ways to be engaged, whether it's through your business or through your church that you happen to be a member of, or you have a 16-year-old who needs service hours, as we talked about the other day, that's our job. I've been in Leadership DeSoto. I know probably half of this room has been in Leadership DeSoto, not all of you. Before I did Leadership DeSoto, a friend of mine who was doing it the year before I did contacted me, and she's like, hey Anna, we have this great idea, the Leadership DeSoto small group. We want to create an organization that pulls together all the volunteer opportunities out there, puts them in one place. I said, girlfriend, that's my job, okay? I'm sorry you don't understand that, but she was a friend of mine, so I didn't take offense. But that is our job. So we're much like Debbie and Carmen in that we try and pull them all together in one spot, instant gratification. If you can't find it, then hopefully that means it doesn't exist, because we've worked very hard to make sure that it exists. Now here's the catch. It doesn't always exist online, but it exists in this brain right here. So we're trying really hard to get everybody online. I'm trying to teach them to fish rather than just giving them the fish. So it takes a long time for Brenda and I to go sit down with every single person and tell them how to use it. But my goal is to help the Community Foundation become a better resource in the community. Tom connects the money and I connect the man hours. So this is me letting you guys know about ways that I can connect your man hours to the nonprofits in DeSoto County and around. We have over 230 nonprofits that we support, and there are some very interesting ones in your community. I support Memphis. Memphis is great. We have a lot of crossover. But there are so many great things right here in DeSoto County that people don't even realize are happening. So before you say, you know, it's Thanksgiving and I really want to go feed somebody who's hungry, just come to the Lander Center on November 16th and help us pass out food to residents in DeSoto County that are your neighbors, your church members, they go to school with your children. You just would be surprised at who's in the line, and you know how much food insecurity there actually is right here in your backyard. So that's just an example. There's lots of things going on in DeSoto County, but anything that I can do to help, I'm happy to. Carmen and Debbie know how to reach me. A lot of you guys already reached me. I think I've emailed like 3 of you in this room today, so that works out well. Any questions? Did I go too fast? I've been on hyperspeed all week long, like these 2 ladies have, I know. Y'all are probably glad it's Friday. Any questions? Anything like that? You guys are ready. I want you to get out here. Y'all been here all day. I'm the last one, aren't I? Yep, that's what I figured. Thank you guys so much. And for those of you that I do work with, thank you very, very much. For those of you that I don't work with yet, I'm really a lot of fun and I'm very easy and I will accommodate you in any way I know how. So thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Anna. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We have our work cut out for us over 2017. There are 1,610 businesses in South Haven. Only 650 of them are chamber members. So we have a lot to do. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being on board. If you know you can call me, text me, email me, any questions that you have. If you need to get in touch with Anna, I can help orchestrate that as well if you don't have her information. Everyone, if you will, please tell Kirsten goodbye. She is leaving us. She just accepted a job at Purdue. So we are super excited for her that she's going to be able to go home. But she has really hit it hard being here. We have appreciated your contributions. Kirsten, thank you for being a part of the chamber. You will be missed, but we will keep in touch with you. Please let us know how it goes with you. The very last thing before we leave, Austin, are you still on the phone? Austin. I wanted to announce our September Ambassador of the Month. With 670 points, that is Austin Waldrop. So before he had his accident, he was hitting it hard and he was doing a great job. Thank you, Austin.
Yeah, thank you.
Please turn your points in. Let me know if you have any questions about point tally. Be expecting to hear from me regarding teams that you guys are put on, and have a fabulous weekend. Also, if you are available and want to come out and support us, Andy Haynes, myself, my husband Tim, and Tim Plessner are all going to compete in Chick-fil-A Field Day in the morning at Overton Square. So if you need a good laugh, come on out, because it's going to be funny. But anyway, thank you guys. Our heat is at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, okay.
Yep.